So there's a fourth book of spiritual Q&A on the Shaktipat path coming out soon. And we thought, what better time to dive into the thousands of pages that are already out there and pull out the absolute essentials. We're going to map out the core of this incredible spiritual journey right from the very beginning to the ultimate goal.
With that in mind, what we're really doing today is walking in the shoes of a practitioner. We're going to trace their journey of discovery by looking at the key questions that always come up, from that very first step all the way to the end. And this is all drawn from actual conversations between a guru and his students.
So what are these big questions? What does the roadmap even look like when you follow someone's curiosity, their doubts, and their biggest breakthroughs? Well, let's jump in and find out. Okay, so every journey has a starting point, right? And for this one, it all begins with the initiation. This first part is all about lighting a spiritual fire. So, first question, what exactly is Shaktipat? To put it really simply, Shaktipat is like a spiritual jumpstart from a guru. But this isn't just some vague blessing. It's a very specific process that awakens this dormant cosmic energy called Kundalini that's tucked away inside every single one of us. And once it's awake, it gets to work doing its main job, burning up all the old karmas you've collected over lifetimes. It's literally lighting a fire within you. Right, but this leads to one of the first, and let's be honest, biggest fears for anyone starting this path. You have this powerful initiation, and then crickets. You feel nothing at all. So you start to wonder, did it fail? Did it not work on me? And the answer we get is just a brilliant metaphor. The guru, Colonel Srinivasulu, puts it this way. Think about trying to light a big pile of wet grass. It's not going to burst into a huge bonfire right away, is it? It's going to smolder, it's going to steam. The fire is definitely lit, but it needs time to dry out the grass before you see any big flames. He's reassuring everyone that, yep, the spiritual fire has been lit even if you can't see or feel it yet. So what happens when that fire really starts to catch? Well, often it feels less like a cozy campfire and a lot more like a raging firestorm. And this brings us to the next massive question that pretty much every single practitioner asks. What in the world is happening to me? The answer, believe it or not, comes down to one word, kriyas. Now, it's super important to get this. These are not side effects. They are the practice in action. As that Kundalini energy starts churning through your subconscious to burn up karma, it triggers all sorts of involuntary reactions. This is what the cleanup looks like. And the sheer variety of these reactions is pretty wild. I mean, people report everything from simple shaking and jerking to full-on body rotations they can't control. You might suddenly burst out laughing or start weeping for no apparent reason. Some people speak in languages they've never heard before or make animal sounds. The body can even start doing complex yoga postures all by itself. It sounds bizarre, but it's all part of the process. And the internal firestorm can be just as intense, if not more so. We're talking about a flood of random thoughts and memories, just bubbling up from your subconscious. People see visions of deities, get flashes of what feel like past lives. Intense emotions like anger or fear can wash over you out of nowhere, and then be replaced by a feeling of incredible bliss. You might even hear bells or smell things that aren't there. It's all just that old karma coming to the surface to finally be released. So you might be wondering, okay, how do I know if something is a kriya or if it's just me? The difference is actually really simple, but profound. It all comes down to this. Was it voluntary? Did you decide to do it? A kriya is involuntary. It's the energy cleansing old karma. A karma, on the other hand, is a voluntary action that creates new results. And really, you're the only one who can know the difference. I know. This all sounds incredibly intense, right? So the obvious question is, how does anyone navigate a firestorm like this? Well, the answer brings us to our third part, the guide. And it really boils down to just two things: trust and surrender. And this quote right here, this is pretty much the core instruction for the whole path. Don't fight the kriyas. Don't try to analyze them, just let them happen. The instruction is to become a mute spectator. You're just watching the show, basically. You're trusting that the energy knows what it's doing. And the logic is simple. The more you resist, the slower things go. The more you surrender, the faster you evolve. But where does that trust come from? Well, it's grounded in a long, established lineage. This is not some new thing someone just came up with. It's an ancient system that's been passed down from teacher to student for generations, as you can see from a chart like this. So when you trust the guru and surrender to the process, you're really trusting a system that has been tried and tested for a very, very long time.
Now, as a practitioner gets deeper into the process, another fascinating question comes up, and it points to a really serious pitfall on the path. The texts say that as your mind gets quieter, supernatural powers, or siddhis, can start to show up. And let's be real, that sounds pretty tempting, doesn't it?
But the guru's guidance on this is crystal clear, and it's a hard no. He says flat out, just ignore them. Don't focus on them, don't wish for them, and whatever you do, don't try to use them. He makes it very plain that getting tempted by these powers is, in his own words, very dangerous. It's a huge distraction that can completely derail you from the actual goal. So, if getting superpowers isn't the goal, then what is? Why go through all this intense purification? This brings us to the final and biggest question of all. What is the ultimate goal of this path? What's the end game?
And the final destination is a bit of a mind bender. It's not about gaining something you don't already have, it's about realizing who you've been all along. The whole point is to transcend dualism, that feeling that there's me over here and the universe or God way out there. The ultimate realization is non-duality, understanding that your individual self and the cosmic self are one and the same. Now, this leads to a pretty radical shift in how you see everything. As long as we think we're separate individuals, this world feels completely solid and real. But as that feeling of non-duality starts to take hold, the texts say the cosmic energy itself reveals its true nature to you, which turns out to be a kind of cosmic illusion. To make this super abstract idea a little more concrete, the guru uses another fantastic metaphor. He says to think of your reality like a movie. It's a film being projected onto the screen of your consciousness. And the script for that movie? Well, it was written entirely by your own past karma. And that brings us to our final parting thought. If shaktipat is the process of burning up that film reel of karma, and the whole practice is to just sit back and be a mute spectator, then here's the ultimate question. If your entire life is just a movie that your karma wrote, what happens when you finally stop getting caught up in the plot and just stop watching?